Hey everybody, Big Nate here again. Thanks to everybody that enjoyed my last video. That was the first one I did, and if you said that you liked it, that I figured I'd go ahead and keep making them. See how this goes. On the last video, you remember that one of the wastegates was leaking when I was testing it. So now we are going to find out how to figure out where the leak is coming from, and we are going to take one of these cheap wastegates apart and see if we can fix it. So for the first part of this, I've got the wastegate off the car. I have it hooked up to my test system, and I have got myself the magic squirt bottle. Um, I know to a lot of people this is pretty straightforward and easy, and nothing new to you, but some of you out there might not realize that you can just take a squirt bottle with a little bit of water and a little bit of dish soap and squirt it around and find out where it bubbles. Alright, I have it hooked up to the same port that I was hooked up to before, the bottom port, and I'm going to crank up the air pressure until you can hear it start leaking. And it's leaking from somewhere. Let's make sure it's not the fitting. Fitting looks pretty solid. Let's get a little more spray action here. There we go. A little magic mist. Yeah, definitely no bubbles on that. So let's see. Oh, that just gathering of bubbles. Yeah, it's just a gathering of bubbles. So it is not leaking out of the joint. Oh, I hope this thing's not leaking out of the shaft. It may mean that that's a leak that I just have to live with. Yeah, it's hard to see. Let me see if I can turn the light on. Get the brightness adjusted here. But you can see it is bubbling up in there. Let me get a light. And a little bit of a endorsement here. Other than I'm not even sure what brand this is. This is just something I got from Tractor Supply. Two of these. It was like 18 bucks on sale. It's got 2-position light settings, magnetic base, does all the things. You can hang it wherever, has a hook on it. There, it's got a hook that comes out. And these things are invaluable. Plus my daughter loves playing with them like they're lightsabers. So let's see here. Oh, let's get a little focus. There we go. Oh yeah, Bubble City. We are blowing bubbles big time out of the shaft. There's not a whole lot you can do with that. Alright, I've moved back into the house. Set up my workstation here on the island table in the kitchen. In the great rainy Pacific Northwest, it gets miserable out in the garage sometimes. So whenever possible, try to do some work in the house. For this, I got the gate, my coffee, the tools, Allen wrench for the gate, wrench for the fittings, and a clamp. I'll show you what that's for later. So first things first, I'm gonna take the fittings out of the gate. That one was just sitting in there loose already. Alright. All right, I got that fitting off. Mr. Hank the dog is saying hi. Hey, Hank, say hi. So, next thing you're going to do is you're going to loosen all of the Allens around the hat here. This is the hat that contains the spring and the diaphragm. So these screws are under spring pressure because this is cheap in origin. I'm guessing the type of aluminum used is not the strongest in the world. So I would advise that you put it in a clamp when you get down to the end to prevent stripping out the last couple of screws. And that is why I have this. And you'll notice it's not your normal everyday style of clamp. This is a woodworking clamp. Has a fast slide on it. And when you set it against something and it pushes against it, it locks in place. So you can take this and put it against your gate. Like so. And now it's locked in place. As I'm removing the Allens, it's gonna continue to be smooth sailing, as I'm not gonna be putting any spring pressure on the threads. And when I go to put this back together, it will end up doing the same thing. It's a pain in the butt to get the spring back in there, hold the hat down, and start the Allen screws. I found that if you squeeze them together and then put the clamp on, it goes together like butter. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these screws out, and I'll be right back with you. I have all the screws out. The hat came off. You can see that here's the spring. Inside's where the spring sits. We can set this aside for now. The spring itself, you'll notice it looks pretty big and substantial, but when we tested it last time, it only lasted till about 8 psi. Now, inside, you'll see that there's a diaphragm and the seat that the rest of the spring sits in. This just pulls up with the valve and is connected. So you can pull this up to take a look at the shaft if you want to. I have decided to go ahead and disassemble the entire gate so I can get good access to the shaft. So I can work the shaft. Oh yes. So take these set screws out. I will not bore you guys with this, and I will be back. Alright, I have the set screws off. That removes easily. Now you can see down in here, the shaft is supposed to seal. Looks like this one is not in the best of shape. This is very likely where the leak is coming from. I think these are supposed to be threads, but they don't really exist anymore. This thing was cross-threaded all the way down in. Focus here. So I don't think I'm going to want to really take this apart as far as I would like. But I'm going to go ahead and take that screw out and see what that gets me. Mainly, I'm going to want to put some lubricant on this shaft, and it might for a little while help to seal it so it doesn't leak on me so bad anymore. So I went ahead and pushed the valve all the way out. You can see it's pretty corroded for being a brand new shaft. I'll clean that up, put some lubricant on that. Unscrewed this. The threads are just junk. Hopefully I can get this back together. You can see there's, looks like a tension washer, 2 of them. Not sure why 2. Maybe to shim it. But then there's this. Alright guys, I am back. Sorry I didn't get the rest of the video done in the house. Wife came home, we're having company over, so she had to start cleaning. And I wasn't going to put this off any longer, so I just went ahead and finished it, put it back together, lubricated it. You can see the picture that I took of the lubricated shaft. It's not necessary to lubricate these shafts. It'll help to make them function smoother, obviously, but you need to use the right stuff. You need something that has moly in it, and something that won't coke up and get gritty when it gets heated and cooked off, because it will cook off. These have so much heat in them that there's almost not a substance available that is a lubricant that will last. Even then, the moly will fail over time. But for right now, I have it back together, and it should help seal the shaft a little bit better. Even though the leak was so minor and the location of it, it really doesn't matter. Let's crank her back up here. We got the old pressure gauge on our regulator, and I am cranking and cranking. There we go. Now we're getting some pressure going. Got 5, already making no noise. Watch the shaft here. I have the fire ring out right now. There, it gets moving. Perfect. Nice and smooth. No sound of air leaks. As it bleeds down, there it goes. Let's leave a little bit of pressure on here. Grab a squirt bottle again. Give it some sprays. And nothing. All right, I think this is good. All right, guys. Well, I learned a few things today too. Hopefully I can get this video edited together to make some sense, because there were some times that I didn't video everything I was doing. There were some mistakes I was making myself, but all in all, it is back together. It is functioning correctly, and I hope you learned something too. Thanks.